I am Ray, and most people don't realize that they're addicted to thinking because it's normal. It's not normal. I promise you that. Because it ruins your peace and drains you of your precious life energy. Not good. But after years of struggling with thought addiction, I have overcome. And so today I will teach you everything I know to stop it, so you may become free from your thoughts and reclaim your peace. So here's the thing. All addiction is the same. Doesn't matter if it's your thoughts, doesn't matter if you're doing crack. All that has happened is that you have developed a bad habit. You're not broken, you're not going crazy, you don't have some kind of crazy mental illness, probably. You just got a bad habit. So, first of all, don't think that you're hopeless. It seems like when we're dealing with our negative thoughts, it's so difficult to escape. But when you look at it like a habit, it's not as scary as it once seemed. Because you know, habits, all it is that you've repeated a certain pattern of behavior over and over again to where it becomes automatic. And once you know how habits are created, you know how to undo them. But if you kind of claim this identity of being mentally ill or having some chemical imbalance, it makes you feel like, oh, there's nothing that can be done. I need drugs just to feel normal. Then you take the drugs, and then you feel, numb. Maybe your negative thoughts go away, but now life just sucks. Either way, you get screwed. Don't overcomplicate it. It's simple. It's just people weren't born with a human user's manual. They don't know how to handle their mind. And because they don't know how to handle their mind, they fumble. They fumble it all. All has been fumbled. So just keep it simple. Here's a bit more detail. So energy is the force of creation. It's life, it's power, and all that jazz. And our mind is a tool that directs that energy. So whatever we give our attention to, that is where we give our power. That is where we give our life. That is what we create. So all that has happened is that your thoughts have been feeding off your energy for a long time. And they have taken on a life of their own. They have drained you of your power, and now they have power over you, which is why we feel like a slave to our thoughts sometimes. Now, a helpful way to think about this: the monster mind. Wow. The monster mind, simply put, is the source of all negative thoughts. I spilled my coffee. And so what the monster mind is, it's like a parasite. It has no power of its own, so it has to steal your power to survive. How does it do this? It gives you a nice, juicy thought, one that you can't resist, and then you bite it, and now it's got you. It's a seed of doubt, worry, fear, some kind of imaginary evil, and then what do? We entertain it. We put on a show. The monster mind is sitting in the audience and saying, yeah! Here we are dancing, afraid, but to the monster mind, we probably look funny. Spiraling out of control, ruminating all the time. No, silly person. But the only reason that we ruminate in the first place is because we entertain the monster mind. We entertain the possibility that the thought might be true. And because we believe in the thought, now we can't help but focus on it. And it's not even you. Your attention gets hijacked by your body. Because our body's main purpose is survival. So anything that has to do with survival, your body's going to take over. And what happens is that the monster mind plants a negative thought. But you react negatively to the thought. And so you tell your body, there's a threat, there's a problem, you need to pay attention. And so what does it do? It sends you into fight or flight. And then you get screwed. Since the beginning of time, we've been running away from bears. And at least from a bear, you can run away and survive. Sometimes. But if the grizzly bear is in your thoughts, what are you going to do? You can't run away from yourself. So in modern society, our body hasn't learned to adapt. Because now it's like having 1,000 little grizzly bears popping up all the time. Being surrounded by grizzly bears. They're everywhere. What are you going to do? Nothing. The body doesn't know the difference between a threat in your mind and a threat in the world. It just knows the information that you feed it through your reactions to things. So, what happens? There's a thought, and we react negatively to the thought and start feeding it our fear. And then we give more juice to the thought. Then the thought creates more negative emotions, and we get caught in this downward spiral of death. And then the monster mind is feeling nice, buffet. And here we are feeling weak and malnourished. I don't know if I can make it much longer. Yes, all of your nutrients are being stolen. You cannot survive without power, without life. And so your thoughts will make you exhausted and make you depressed. But there's no rule book that says you have to believe a single thought your mind tells you. Don't ever believe a single negative thought. 100% of the time, you must begin saying the word no. You got to take a stand for yourself, for Christ's sake. Because if you do not set boundaries, the monster mind is going to manipulate you, work its way inside, and you will allow the fear in. But the moment you say, no, I'm not doing that, then what's it going to do? The monster mind is also like a vampire. It doesn't have any power over you without your consent. You have to invite it in. And because you wouldn't do this of your own free will, it has to manipulate you. So it only ever gives you an offer. And then you take it, and now it says, oh, well, now I have free reign over you, my friend. Bad choice. And you see, a lot of people, they get trapped in this kind of rational, realist mentality of, well, it's not bad to worry about a potential future. Something bad could happen. It happens. What are you doing? What's going on here? Stop it. Just knock it off. The question is not whether or not something is true. The question is, does your thought serve you? Because if it doesn't serve you, what's the point? If you entertain a negative thought, if you entertain worry, it lowers your state of being and prevents you from actually dealing with any problems that arise. So if something actually does happen, you won't be able to deal with it as effectively. So don't allow the monster mind to trick you into keeping your fears and your worry. That's called Stockholm Syndrome. You're fighting for the one thing that's killing you. Don't do it. That is how tricky the monster mind is. It will continuously hypnotize you back into this unconscious state where you continue to feed and ruminate upon negative thoughts. It makes you a slave by getting you addicted. Your thoughts take on a life of its own, and you lose your power because you have given your power away. So all we have to do is start taking our power back. First, by realizing that you have the power, and that the monster mind has no power. As the spiritual teacher Moody once said, a thought has no power. You have all the power. But you give your power away to your thoughts through your identification and belief in the thoughts. Wow. But those who do not know their power, they have no power. And the price of ignorance is slavery and death. And think about what happens when you got no life left. Death. That's what happens when you're perpetually stuck in a state of fight or flight. Your energy, your life force is constantly being drained. And what is death? Death is lethargy. Being exhausted all the time, being tired, not wanting to do anything, no desire, no motivation, depression. Did I say that? Like 90% of our problems in life come from our own thoughts. If you just learn how to do this, manage this, life can be good. So what we want to do to begin practicing managing our thoughts is simply begin to become more aware. You want to become aware when you start ruminating. And then in that decision, or in that moment I should say, you have a decision. And you can say, do I want to continue pouring gasoline on this fire of my life? Or do I want to start feeling nice? Because you can't add more negativity onto a negative situation and expect a positive outcome. So this is why the first step is saying no. You take a stand for yourself and say, I deserve a better life. I deserve good things. And once you take that stand, well, then it becomes easier to say no to the monster mind. It becomes easier to say no to your negative thoughts because they're ruining your life and you don't want to make your life worse, right? Right? So just make the decision today. No. Because once your mind is pointed in the right direction, you typed it in on your GPS, you're basically already there. Time just has to catch up. But if your mind is not pointed in the right direction, it doesn't matter how fast you go. You'll never make it. So the first step is taking the intention to live a better life. Now you have the ability to start standing up for yourself. And with this new identity shift, you start to cultivate awareness. Your mind hyperfocuses on everything that reaffirms your new identity. So before, we might just ruminate unconsciously. We're just trying to live our life, but we can't help it. We're addicted to thinking. But now, if you decide to live a better life, your mind will start focusing on things that either serve that new narrative or doesn't. So you'll catch yourself ruminating more and more. And in those moments where you become aware, you snap out of the hypnosis, you develop a little bit of space. And in that space, you have the power to choose. And guess what? We're just building a new habit and breaking the habit of negative thinking. Because now that train of thoughts can't build momentum. Through your awareness alone, you stop it. Because awareness is light and unconsciousness is darkness. The monster mind is the lord of darkness. It can only affect us or influence us when we are stuck in ignorance, in unconsciousness. So the cure for darkness is light, is awareness. Through your awareness alone, you break the habit of negative thinking. And guess what? You orient your attention toward the light, toward a better future, toward what is good. And you can see how you start to remedy the problem. And sure, you might get pulled back into them every once in a while because those thoughts, they have energetic momentum. They have some juice. But it's your juice. They've been feeding off your juice. So you got to take it away first. Stop feeding them. And even just that alone, they start to fall away naturally. Because the monster mind has no power of its own. You take away its food, it's done. The best way to become free from something is to starve it. That is all you got to do. Begin starving your thoughts by taking your power back. And step by step, day by day, you will feel more and more powerful. You'll feel the life return to you, the desire, the motivation, the inspiration to live. And you break free from this mind prison in which your thoughts have no power over you anymore. I am Ray. This is my cool story. Much peace and many blessings. And remember, just be.